Your doctor may never say this out loud, but for man people with diabetes, medications are only doing half the job. You take the pills, you follow the plan, yet your blood sugar still refuses to behave. The reason might shock you. Your body could be starving for key minerals it needs to control glucose. Right now, millions of people with diabetes are deficient without knowing it. Their cells are tired, inflamed, and unable to respond to insulin properly. Not because they're failing, but because their bodies are missing critical building blocks. When minerals run low, insulin cannot work the way it should. Blood sugar stays high, energy disappears, complications quietly move closer, fatigue becomes normal, tingling in the feet gets brushed off, spikes after meals feel unavoidable. But these signs are not random. They are signals. Your body is asking for help. Research shows that correcting mineral deficiencies can dramatically improve blood sugar control in weeks, not years. A1C drops, fasting glucose improves, insulin sensitivity comes by online. Yet this conversation is often missing from standard care. In this series, Diabetes Education Official is breaking it down clearly. 4 minerals, each one plays a powerful role in how your body handles sugar. When you understand them, you stop fighting your body and start supporting it. Let's begin with the first and the most overlooked mineral of all. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals for blood sugar control, yet it's one of the most commonly depleted in people with diabetes. High blood sugar forces magnesium out through the kidneys every single day. The higher your glucose runs, the more magnesium you lose. This is why deficiency symptoms often look like worsening diabetes. Muscle cramps at night, extreme fatigue, brain fog, heart rhythm changes, anxiety that appears without warning. Even numbness and the tingling that gets labeled as neuropathy can be tied to low magnesium levels. When magnesium levels are restored, the shift can be dramatic. Blood sugar after meals becomes calmer. Fasting numbers start to fall. Insulin sensitivity improves, meaning your body needs less insulin to do the same job. Inflammation drops, which further reduces resistance. Blood vessels relax. Nerves get protection. Magnesium doesn't work like a drug that forces numbers down. It works by fixing what's broken underneath. When cells finally get what they need, they respond again. That's why magnesium is often the first missing piece in diabetes control. When magnesium levels rise back to where they should be, the body begins to function more like it used to. Cells respond to insulin instead of ignoring it. Glucose finally moves out of the bloodstream and into muscles where it belongs. This alone can lead to noticeable drops in fasting and post-meal blood sugar. Many people see their A1C begin to fall within a few months, simply because insulin is working again. Magnesium also supports the pancreas. The cells that produce insulin become less stressed and more efficient. Instead of overworking and burning out, they respond smoothly to changes in blood sugar. At the same time, magnesium reduces chronic inflammation, one of the biggest drivers of insulin resistance. Less inflammation means better signaling, better control, and fewer spikes. The benefits go far beyond glucose. Blood pressure often improves as blood vessels relax. Irregular heartbeats become less frequent. Nerve pain and tingling can calm down as nerves are shielded from sugar damage. Sleep improves because magnesium naturally relaxes the nervous system. Even digestion benefits, as magnesium supports healthy muscle movement in the gut. Food sources like seeds, leafy greens, beans, nuts, and dark chocolate all contribute magnesium, but many people still fall short. Years of high blood sugar increase the need. When magnesium is missing, diabetes feels harder than it should. When it's restored, the body stops fighting itself and that changes everything. Chromium is a trace mineral, meaning the body needs only small amounts but its impact is massive. Chromium's main job is helping insulin work properly. Without it, insulin struggles to attach to its receptors, even when plenty of insulin is present. This leads to higher blood sugar, stronger cravings, and the unstable energy throughout the day. Modern diets are one of the biggest problems. Food processing strips chromium from grains and the refined foods. On top of that, high sugar intake and the frequent blood sugar spikes cause the body to lose chromium through urine. Stress makes the loss even worse. Over time, deficiency becomes common, especially in people with diabetes. The signs are easy to miss. Intense sugar cravings, afternoon energy crashes, brain fog, mood swings, weight gain around the belly, shakiness between meals. These symptoms often get blamed on poor control, when the real issue is that insulin can't do its job without enough chromium. When chromium levels improve, insulin sensitivity rises, cells respond faster. Blood sugar enters cells more efficiently instead of lingering in the blood. Fasting glucose and the post-meal spikes both begin to drop. Chromium also helps reduce excess sugar production in the liver, which is a major driver of high morning readings. This mineral doesn't force blood sugar down. It restores communication. And once insulin and the cells start talking again, control becomes much easier to maintain. Chromium's benefits don't stop at blood sugar. As insulin sensitivity improves, the entire metabolic system becomes more balanced. Muscles store glucose as energy instead of letting it turn into fat. Appetite signals become clearer. Cravings lose their grip. People notice weight stabilizing as blood sugar swings calm down. Chromium also supports heart health, which is critical in diabetes. It helps improve cholesterol balance by lowering triglycerides and supporting healthy HDL levels. Blood vessels function better, which can lead to modest improvements in blood pressure. Over time, this reduces strain on the heart and the arteries. Nerves benefit as well. By lowering glucose exposure, chromium helps reduce ongoing nerve irritation. Tingling and the discomfort may lessen as sugar toxicity decreases. Kidneys also gain protection, as more stable blood sugar reduces the damage that slowly weakens filtration over time. Chromium exists naturally in foods like broccoli, whole grains, beans, and the meats, but soil depletion and the processing make intake inconsistent. Small amounts are needed, but consistency matters. When chromium is missing, insulin resistance tightens its grip. When chromium is present, insulin finally gets help doing what it was designed to do. For people with diabetes, restoring chromium is the difference between constant struggle and the steady control. It doesn't replace healthy habits, it makes them work. Zinc is essential for insulin production, storage, and the release. In fact, the pancreas contains some of the highest zinc concentrations in the entire body. Without enough zinc, insulin becomes unstable and the blood sugar control suffers. This makes zinc especially important for people with diabetes. Deficiency often shows up quietly. Wounds heal slowly. Infections happen more often. Taste and the smell fade. Hair thins. Fatigue and the brain fog settle in. Blood sugar becomes unpredictable, swinging up and down without clear cause. Over time, these signs are treated as separate issues instead of pieces of the same problem. When zinc levels improve, insulin becomes more effective. Blood sugar after meals rises less sharply. Fasting levels become steadier. Zinc also reduces inflammation and the oxidative stress, which protects blood vessels and the nerves from long-term damage. Nerve signaling improves. Kidney markers stabilize. Eye health gains support as zinc protects the retina from glucose-related stress. Zinc-rich foods include seeds, legumes, meats, and the shellfish, but absorption matters. When zinc is low, the pancreas struggles. When zinc is restored, insulin handling becomes smoother and more reliable. For diabetes management, zinc is not optional, it's foundational. Selenium works behind the scenes, but its role is powerful. It helps create antioxidant enzymes that protect insulin-producing cells from damage. In diabetes, where oxidative stress runs high, this protection is critical. Without selenium, pancreatic cells wear down faster and the blood sugar control becomes harder to maintain. Low selenium can show up as fatigue, brain fog, muscle weakness, hair and nail changes, and the weakened immune system. Thyroid function may slow, further affecting metabolism and the energy. These changes often happen gradually, making them easy to overlook. When selenium levels are restored, antioxidant defenses strengthen, pancreatic cells are shielded, insulin sensitivity improves, blood sugar readings stabilize, inflammation drops, which helps protect blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, and the liver. The liver becomes more efficient at handling glucose and the toxins, reducing overall metabolic stress. Foods like seafood, meats, and the certain nuts contain selenium, but intake varies widely. Balance matters because both deficiency and the excess can cause problems. When selenium is in the right range, it quietly supports nearly every system affected by diabetes. It doesn't grab attention, but it makes long-term control possible. Diabetes is not just about sugar. It's about how the body handles sugar. Magnesium, chromium, zinc, and the selenium each support a different part of that process. One helps insulin work. One helps cells listen. One supports insulin production. One protects the system from damage. When even one is missing, control becomes harder than it needs to be. When these minerals are restored, the body stops fighting itself. Blood sugar becomes steadier. Energy returns. Complications slow down. Asatuche begins to reflect real progress. This isn't about shortcuts or miracle fixes. It's about giving the body what it requires to function properly. At Diabetes Education Official, our goal is simple: clear information, real understanding, and the practical knowledge that helps you take control with confidence. When you understand what your body needs, you stop guessing and start managing diabetes with clarity. Blood sugar stability doesn't start with fear. It starts with education.